First of all, one begins by seeing that the happiness that is obtained by depending on others has a certain transience about it that helps us be disengaged from that kind of happiness. Otherwise, if one is certain that the source of happiness is in the world, lies in the others, then the very possibility, the very inspiration to seek differently doesn't arise. We are continuously seeking happiness in this or that, and we are succeeding, and we are continuously seeking happiness, which means the success is incomplete and short-lived, even if it comes. We highlight the success as our achievement and we downplay the failure as a law of life. We will work hard to attain happiness, and then the happiness will wither away, and because it withers away, we again try hard to get more or same happiness, and the cycle continues. We have told ourselves this is the universal order, and success lies in incessantly chasing happiness, getting it for a while, losing it, reclaiming it, again losing it. After you lose happiness, go for it once again. Don't be demotivated. When you have totally given yourself, committed yourself, as we said, surrendered to this cyclical process, then of course there is no possibility of examining this process. What has happiness dependent on others really given us, except that it has allowed us to while away time? Nothing is obtained, but you are spared the agony of looking honestly at yourself. So you get the pseudo satisfaction of doing something meaningful. You can conveniently wear a mask of seriousness on your face. Make it would require your effort. Break it is inevitable, like a sandcastle. Are you okay with this? If you're okay with this, then there is no point asking whether there is happiness independent of the world. There are obvious advantages of remaining absorbed in this process. The first and foremost is, as we said, that you are left with no time, no energy, no space to honestly look at yourself. So if you can first of all see that the process most of us are currently committed to is not something you'd want to remain with, then there opens up something else. Then you start seeing many things. You see that the things or persons that you use to fulfill yourself, they all belong to the same plane. Therefore, if you ask artists, they will say there is great joy in the depth of tears. Therefore, great epics and works of creativity have sprung forth from deep agony. In fact, agony is often a trigger to creativity. You'll find it strange to hear. But the ego does not like joy, because joy is expensive. Happiness is quite cheap. You can buy it at a burger outlet. Joy requires that you sell away happiness itself, and that is merely the first installment. Ego does not like joy. Several people, they dislike their few glimpses of joy. They hold themselves accountable. They hold themselves guilty for having tasted even a few drops of joy. The ego keeps on resisting joy till joyfulness finishes off ego itself. Because joy and ego cannot coexist for long. And that's why obviously the ego resists joy. Remember that we are all committed to the pursuit of happiness. So a lot of promises will need to be broken. And the ego will have more reasons to feel ashamed and guilty. Because when you say that you will have happiness through someone, it's always a two-way thing. So when you withdraw from this arrangement, he will feel entitled to blame you, sue you. Joy can land you in a court of law, and lawyers are expensive. What is joy? To smile through a heartbreak, that's joy. You cannot have joy if you are too afraid of heartbreaks. Obviously, later on, when you fall in love with joy, then there would remain no ego to be broken. But that is a thing that comes much later. Firstly, you have to pass through agony alone. Now that you are doing one thing alone, you have a taste of aloneness. That is joy. At least do something alone. The more you have gathered, the more difficult freedom becomes for you. Once you get established in an inner aloneness, then there is no danger in coming out, socializing, mingling, whatever. It hurts, but just live through it. A lot of times I have spoken on how aloneness and loneliness are distinct. But you must also see that the dawn of aloneness is preceded by the darkness of loneliness. And for a while they coexist. As long as you are living a socially adjusted and internally compromised life, as long as you are living resigned to your limitations, even your agony is limited. As long as you are living a life surrendered to limitations, even your agony is limited. Joy is to be unburdened, carefree. Therefore, joy is actually not a state. Explaining the meaning of that is difficult because the meaning of that depends on what you take yourself to be. If you take yourself to be a responsible person, then the meaning of joy or aloneness is to go beyond responsibility. If you take yourself as a clever or wise person, then the meaning of aloneness is to go beyond cleverness. Joy is not a dualistic state. It does not quite have a meaning.